One of the earliest and possibly biggest gifts that we receive when we stop drinking is the ability to become far more self-aware. We start to notice our thoughts, our feelings, and things that used to live inside our subconscious that we never paid attention to. Things that used to drive automatic behaviour, and often that behaviour would come with negative consequences. Today, I want to share more with you about raising that level of self-awareness and also learning the ability to self-reflect and the benefits of you paying attention to this absolutely crucial piece of the sobriety jigsaw puzzle. I'm Simon Chapple, the author of the Sober Survival Guide and the book How to Quit Alcohol in 50 Days. I run this awesome YouTube channel for anyone who wants to change their relationship with alcohol. If that's you, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon and you'll be notified every time there's a new video. There's new videos every Tuesday and every Thursday, so make sure you tune in and make sure you comment as well, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. We've got an amazing community right here on this YouTube channel. So let's talk more about self-awareness and the ability to self-reflect. Now, far more goes on in our subconscious mind than in our conscious mind, and much of it is unknown even to scientists. They struggle to understand exactly what's happening in the subconscious and how everything works. Now, I'm not a brain expert and I'm never going to proclaim to be one, but I do understand that the more we can bring out of our subconscious into the light of our conscious mind, the more we're able to make sensible choices, rational decisions, and not act as though we're on autopilot, which can often result in negative consequences. So in the conscious mind, you'll find things like willpower. Now, we talk about willpower in the context of quitting drinking, and for many people who try to use willpower as a tool for stopping drinking alcohol, they find it a real challenge. Just imagine if I asked you to hold a heavy weight above your head and just stay there until I said stop. Eventually, the weight would become too heavy. You'd be using willpower to keep it above your head, and eventually you'd need to put it down because it had become too much. Willpower is like a muscle. It wears out. I believe that we can't change a habit using willpower alone. We need to have other tools. We need to have a greater sense of self. Willpower can be really useful, and there are times during the sobriety journey that we absolutely need to draw on that. But we need way more in our sobriety toolbox. Our short-term memory also lives in our conscious mind. Now, we know that alcohol affects short-term and long-term memory. Our conscious mind is also the place where we'll find our short-term memory, and we know that alcohol has a significant impact on both short-term and long-term memory. We'll also find logical thinking in our conscious mind, as well as critical thinking, and that can be self-criticism or judgments of other people. And we know that both of those become severely interfered with when we put alcohol into the mix. Now, when we bring everything that lives in our subconscious mind out into the open, and I'm not suggesting you can get everything in your subconscious into your conscious mind, but there are certainly some key elements, we become able to harness a whole new level of power. We unlock a new ability. So the fact is that alcohol is going to mess with each and every one of those things that exist within our conscious mind. Even willpower. Alcohol stretches our willpower even when we're drinking. I used to think about it all the time. I had to use my willpower not to begin drinking earlier in the day. I would use my willpower to try not to drink as much, but I always failed. My willpower always ran out. So alcohol messes with all of those things in our subconscious mind. The more we can bring this stuff out of our unconscious mind and into the conscious, the more whole that we become. And I'm going to share with you right now all of those things that exist within the subconscious mind. So this image shows an iceberg, and the part that is above the sea is what exists in our conscious mind: willpower, short-term memory, logical thinking, and critical thinking. And you might have seen that I did a video about negative self-talk recently. So if critical thinking towards yourself is something that you struggle with, absolutely check that video out. Now, in our subconscious mind lives beliefs, emotions, habits, values, protective reactions, long-term memory, imagination, and intuition. All of these things are done pretty much on autopilot. We don't often spend much time thinking about them or paying attention to them. We just let them be. They just do their own thing. The more you can start to become aware, which is one of the most incredible gifts of becoming alcohol free, the more you can start shining a light on these things. You can start thinking about your beliefs, what it is you believe about alcohol. Do you believe it brings benefits to your life, or do you believe it brings negative consequences? You can actually start to approach things with a sense of curiosity. You can start to name and label emotions. You can start to look much closer at your habits and addictive behaviour and learn how to make changes. And you can also understand your values and look at how your values actually align with your life. If you do things that go against your values, you'll be causing yourself emotional discomfort. If you align your life with your values, you're going to have a much happier and pleasant time of your life. Protective reactions, that's another thing you can start to bring out into the light and look at how you respond in certain situations. And long-term memory, alcohol steals our memories. Imagine that you went to a wonderful wedding or to a lovely party, and after the event, because you drank, you'd had 75% of your memories taken away from you. You would never be able to remember 75% of those wonderful things. Don't allow alcohol to do that. Instead, start to bring those long-term memories out. Using a journal is a great way to log that data. And of course, imagination, becoming aware of what you're thinking about, setting some goals and using your imagination towards creative activities. And intuition, I try to take the time to pause when I'm driven to do something by intuition. And I actually look at what is underneath that, what might be driving it. I think about the consequences of different types of behaviour and different types of action before I take them. And all of this has come about from bringing a new sense of awareness to what exists in my subconscious mind. And I just wanted to share that with you today so you can actually start to think about the things that exist in your subconscious and hopefully shine more of a light on them, bring more of an awareness to them, and allow yourself to start to pause, to start to think, and to start to consider any consequences of your actions, the reasons why you might be feeling a particular way or having a certain thought. And then hopefully you can join up the dots and understand it, think it all through in a bit more depth. And this, I assure you, is part of that process to becoming completely whole and completely happy, and is absolutely going to help you on your journey to becoming alcohol free.